The first major winter storm of the year is packing a punch. Already several inches of snow on the ground here in Spokane. We have live team coverage to bring you the very latest on conditions.
And more is on the way. This is just the first storm. We'll see another one on Sunday. I'll have a complete look at your 10-day forecast.
Here on Stevens Street, cars are dealing with some pretty slick conditions on these snowy roads that have been really packed in.
Drivers are trying to get home safe in this snow, but they've encountered areas like this, so we're out here monitoring the traffic to keep you safe.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Welcome everyone. I'm Tom Sherry. Well, the inland Northwest is getting 4 to 8 inches of snow tonight. Officially, we've already received about 6.1 inches as measured out at the airport. We ended 2019 with less than average snowpack, and we're starting 2020 with a major snowstorm.
We have live team coverage of road conditions, Spokane snow response, and conditions in North Idaho. We start though with KREM 2 Shayna Waltower. She's been keeping an eye on the city's response to the snow.
We're going to go check in with her now to see what progress they've made. Shayna.
Guys, we are finally seeing some progress here in this area, and that is probably the most exciting thing that I've heard for the most part of the day today. Stevens Street is finally open again. They've gotten these roads back cleared. Snow plows are working this area for probably about a solid hour or so, just sweeping all through this area, trying to get these roads reopened. Just looking over my shoulder here, you can see that the cars are finally starting to zoom back over here through these areas. There was a fire truck that was blocking off the area completely here, along with some traffic cones. But again, since then, we've seen some clearance in this area here, along with a couple of other delays that were here in this area. Again, you can see the cars that are driving by here. Just as of about 30 minutes or so ago, the city actually started its full city plow. They got the plows up and going in a lot of the residential areas, as well as the main arterial roads. So they're working those major areas for those complete 24-hour city plow that's going to keep going for as long as this heavy snow continues. So again, we're seeing a lot of progress in this area, but again, still a lot for the plows to keep up with as they're continuing to hit a lot of the major arterials, as well as now some of the side streets that are in the area. We'll continue bringing you guys updates on the conditions that are out here, but for now, reporting in Spokane, I'm Shayna Waltower, and I'll send things back in studio.
Shayna, thank you very much. Looks like an improvement, at least where she's at
Good job.
right now.
Thanks, City.
And Tom, I think it was like about 1 o'clock it started coming down, and it's pretty consistent since about that.
Yeah, the heaviest snow started coming down around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's head over here, if you will. I want to show you some of the other areas around Spokane up on 395. This is Market Street, as you can see, and boy, it is just lots of snow and ice on the roadway. A little bit harder to see here, but this is Wandermere Road, also up on the north side. You folks up there have very, very slippery conditions, as you can see, and more snow is on the way. And this is Northwest Spokane, Charles Road. It can get really steep in this area out towards the 5 mile and 9 mile Tum-Tum area. And you can see that the road there is just covered with snow and ice, compact snow and ice at this particular time. Snowfall forecast is calling for between 6 and 8 inches. We've already hit the 6-inch mark. We measured 6.1 inches of snow officially out at the airport. That observation coming from the National Weather Service. So more snow is on the way this evening, although I think we get a break after about 7 o'clock before the next round begins to move in. By Saturday morning, could see 8 to 12 inches of snow in Sandpoint. In Coeur d'Alene and St. Mary's, 6 to 8 inches of snow. This is the most snow we've seen falling at one time all season long. And as you can see, everywhere shaded in pink, that's a winter storm warning. And in fact, our warning in the Spokane and northeastern Washington area goes until 10 o'clock tonight. The winter storm warning in northern Idaho will go till tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. And the Cascades, which are getting pounded, that winter storm warning is in effect until Monday morning. So we take a look at the current radar. As you can see, it's all snow across the Spokane area. But again, and I wanted to run this for you. You can see it just about 8 o'clock in the morning. It just begins to snow. And then the heavy, heavy, heavy snow, as Mark mentioned, moves in around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And as we get towards the 6 o'clock hour, you can see that it starts we get to see a definite end to the actual snowfall. So, all right, let's talk about what we've got going on as far as more snow. We think it will begin ending right around, say, the 7 o'clock hour. And then, Mark, I think more snow will regenerate right around midnight tonight, and then at times again tomorrow. But the heaviest snowfall happening right now.
All right, Tom, thank you very much.
All right, let's check in on conditions in other areas of Spokane.
Our Brandon Jones at the bottom of Freya Hill right now, taking a look at conditions there. Brandon, that's always a rough spot there.
Yep, it's definitely always a rough spot just because of how steep it is, and portions of Freya are still closed down. But actually within the last 20 minutes or so, the tow truck was having some problems, but it got one of those cars off the road that was blocking things up, and it actually looks like they're hooked up to the other car and they have it off of the middle of the street. Beforehand it was just kind of sitting in there and blocking things up, but it looks like they're closer towards the sidewalk now and really just trying to reel it in and get it off of the road. Looks like things are flowing up a little bit more, but the officer is looks like he's wrapping things up right now as well. But continue to just move safe out here because the roads are very slick, very dangerous, and you can't really judge them all the time. So as you're moving around, just really make sure you're being safe.
All right, some good advice right there, Brandon. Thank you very much. As you might imagine, winter weather hitting Snoqualmie Pass hard, and it won't be letting up for days to come. This is causing a mess for drivers trying to get from one side of the state to the other. Sebastian Robertson with our Seattle sister station is live there with the very latest tonight. Good evening, Sebastian.
Good evening. It has been snowing all day long. It has been constant and it has been sticking. Combine that with temperatures that are well below freezing, and the recipe is there for compact ice and snow. Drivers being asked to use extreme caution as they navigate this mountain pass. I want to show you what it looked like just a couple of hours ago. 20 to 30 inches are expected to fall between today and tomorrow morning. That's according to the National Weather Service. The timing of this system, well, it isn't great. This is because WSU in Pullman starts its spring semester Monday. University asking students to allow for plenty of extra travel time as they plan that commute back to college. It's advice that we heard over and over again from drivers.
Well, if you don't need to come up here other than to ski, I would advise you not to, but we need to. It's our grandson's playing his first basketball game, and he's only 7, so we got to be there.
It's definitely really wintry. The snow is covering the roadway, so if you're not comfortable driving in the snow, you probably don't want to drive over the pass.
Yeah.
State troopers out here all day long as well, traveling up and down the pass, trying to catch drivers who shouldn't be out here. There has been a mandatory chain requirement in place for vehicles all day long. The only way you can get away from that is if you do have an all-wheel drive vehicle. Road conditions aren't expected to get any better anytime soon. Forecasters predicting that the worst of this is still yet to come, with temperatures dropping and snow that just won't let up. At Snoqualmie Pass, Sebastian Robertson, KREM 2 News.
Sebastian, thank you very much. I am certainly glad I'm not traveling over the pass right now.
It's hard enough just in the lower elevations, right?
Not a good situation. Okay, want to take a look around the inland Northwest right now to keep up to date on conditions in terms of your commute home.
We have Casey Decker out on our mobile storm tracker for a look at roads in Coeur d'Alene. So how are things out there, Casey?
Well, actually, now we are moving on I-90 westbound. We're more on the border of Spokane and Spokane Valley right now, and it's still really treacherous. On our way out east towards Coeur d'Alene early in the afternoon, things weren't too bad, but now on the way back, it's darker, and the roads are also covered in much more snow. I'll show you a look outside the front of the mobile storm tracker here, and you can see there's actually quite a bit of congestion on the roads right now. People trying to make their way home after work at the end of the week here. We're kind of slowing to a stop here. We're going about 30 right now. Obviously, this is a 60-mile-per-hour zone, so people taking things very carefully. Nonetheless, I have seen a couple of slide-offs on the highway just in the last couple of minutes here, and also on these freeway entrances. We saw somebody who was pulled over and stuck. And actually, you might be able to see coming up here on the right, there's a couple of vehicles right there that have spun off and are on the edge of this exit right here. It is very dangerous out here right now. People need to be very careful. You can barely see where the lanes are supposed to be on the road. In addition to that, you've got a lot of this slushy snow coming down and making things difficult to see out your windshield. And of course, it's dark as well, so not a fun time out on the freeway. And the arterials, the side roads that we've seen so far, more in the valley and the Coeur d'Alene Post Falls area, those weren't much better. Lots of cars over there too, and a lot of them seeing the same difficulties that we're seeing out here on the roads right now. Mark, Tom?
All right, Casey Decker, thank you very much. And as first responders will tell you time and time again, four-wheel drive doesn't help you slow down any faster.
Not at all. Gives you a little traction, but you're stuck just like the rest of us.
Take it slow, for sure.
Take it slow.
Okay, also want to find out how our emergency responders and hospital staff, how they're prepared for the storm this weekend.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley checked in with local law enforcement and Sacred Heart Hospital to share what you need to know.
Yeah, we wanted to find out what's going on with your safety, those folks that are going to be responding to those accidents. So for the most part, local law enforcement tell me it's business as usual tonight. Washington State Patrol Trooper Jeff Seveny told me they have their regular amount of troopers on patrol tonight, and he says they're also coordinating with Washington State Department of Transportation to respond to those critical areas. Tonight, he's also encouraging all drivers, of course, to take it slow. Now, as for the fire department, Spokane Fire Chief Brian Schaefer told me they established a fire operations center in anticipation of tonight's storm. Now, its main function is to help crews prioritize calls where to send their resources. Right now, command staff are helping streamline that high number of calls expected tonight. Now, I also asked Sacred Heart how its emergency staff prepared for the storm. Communication Director Jennifer Semenza says staffing levels will mostly remain the same, but additional staff can be called if needed. Now, facilities teams are also keeping campuses accessible and safe for patient access. Now, you are also likely to see these guys out and about tonight. This is the busiest time of the year for tow truck companies, and they are ready to respond. I asked one of the largest companies in our area, that's Evergreen State Towing, if they made any additional preparations for the snow. They said it's business as usual as well. Now, they are asking drivers to slow down and move over if you see their crews on streets and highways. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.